Hey guys, for my project, I had the topic of top 10 apps to foster creativity in the K through 6 classroom. It was really fun and I hope you enjoy all the apps that I show you today. My objective was to create an opportunity to enhance imagination and education with technology. So with iPads, MacBooks, or whatever the school system can offer. I'm going to show you a video of how iPads are used in the classroom. I want you to look out for how the teacher incorporates the iPads and incorporates his curriculum and lessons for the day with the iPads.
Today we live in a world where technology is everywhere. It's basically at your fingertips. Everywhere you go, you're that much closer to the answer. And with technology becoming more and more prominent in our society, it needs to be in the schools. Being able to use the iPad while teaching really helps me keep the kids up to date with what's going on in the world and how they're using technology on a daily basis, because everywhere we go, there's technology, and they have it right here at their fingertips. One of the funny things that I've found over the last year and a half of using the iPad in the classroom is that the kids get so involved they don't really realize they are learning as much as they're learning, and they just are just doing. And because everything is such an easy process, they're not stopped by, there's no roadblocks for them, and so they'll immediately get involved in something way further than you would have thought they would, and they don't realize they're not only learning, but they're kind of enjoying doing it as well. And that's just been a really neat thing to watch them grow and do things without really having to work at it or look at it as if it's work, because I think that changes their perception. When they believe they have to do something, or they don't understand why they need to do something, their tendency to want to do it is much lower. And with the iPads, they tend to just take right to them, and whatever it is we're doing with them, they just run with it. One of my favorite things to do in the morning is to put a QR code up on the smartboard. And when the students come in, they know immediately to go get an iPad, to pick it up, open up the QR scanner, and scan it. And the QR code is basically a quick response. It's a quick way to get information. And instead of me putting the sentence on the board and the kids coming to the carpet and copying, they can immediately pick up an iPad, scan it, and it will tell them what I want them to do. And I think that's been one of the more rewarding or one of the neater things about the iPad in the classroom is how limitless it is. All right, next word, screen. About the iPads and the iPods is that there's virtually no learning curve. The kids usually can come in and pick them up, and right away they're able to use them, and not just use them, but to be effective with them. The challenge I have is getting out of the way and letting them show me what they can do, because they can do so much more than what I ever thought they could do.
So that just kind of showed how iPads are being used today in a very well taught, very well experienced teacher's classroom. So mobile technology, this was one of my resources that I found, and you can reference the handout for the QR code, but not every app costs money. All of my apps are free, and I chose it for a reason to prove that educational apps can be free and they can be good apps. Although these tools are crucial are starting to become crucial in education, schools do need to budget for these expensive iPads or apps or whatever they choose to use. They do need a budget for it. And these are not a toy. These are a toolbox for students to use instead of textbooks. So Tiny Bop is one of my favorite apps that I have found. I've never used it, never heard of it until I did the research for this project. If a kid is curious about anything, more than likely Tiny Bop has it. If a teacher doesn't know how to explain it for the kid, or like how to lower their expectations for the child, they can send them to Tiny Bop, and Tiny Bop will show them. So this is a brief summary of the mammal explanations they have. And so also Tiny Bop is based out of New York City, and they asked kids what they are curious about. And this is how they do their research or get their topics for their app.
What is a tiny bop? Well, I have a question about like why is the sky blue when space is black? Why do cheetahs need spots? Why do I have favorite colors? What happens to my brain when I have a headache? How do computers save all your progress when they're like so thin? Well, why do some isopods just stay like flat? Do people live on the moon? And some isopods can roll into a ball. Why do octopuses squirt when they're scared? They could just kick. And how do people live? And why are we getting closer to the future? Tiny Bop.
So Tiny Bop is one of my top 3 apps that I definitely will use in the future with the kids that I teach in practicum in my own classroom one day. So these are my apps that I found that are awesome for special needs children. Kid in a Storybook. If a kid takes a picture of themselves in the Superman pose or however they want, they can crop themselves out and put it in the book, the pre-made storyline. Story Builder for iPad is a great one for kids of all ages, but I would say it is more for 3rd grade and up because it has more in-depth thinking and they write their own storyline, and it's really hard for kindergartners to write out a story in good detail, and that's what Story Builder for iPad is. So Drop is a app that is designed for school systems. It's easy to share. It's kind of like Shadow Puppet, which I will get to later, but it enhances creativity more, so a student can draw a picture on there and then upload it to their portfolio or send it to their teacher / guardian or whoever they need to, whoever is over them. Ideamit, if a student can't quite understand a book or a story or any kind of like what happens when a frog eats a fly, they go to Ideamit, they set out everything in like a spider web diagram or a T-chart or a Venn diagram. They can understand it better, and then they can also send it to their teacher. That way the teacher knows that they were busy doing things that day. Toontastic is also one of my favorite apps. It's my top 3. It's voted New York Times best app of the year because of it's also the age range. There is none. I play with it sometimes. I still have it on my phone. And it's good because kids can create their own story. They can use any characters they want. And they can also voice over it. So it's just really fun and very interactive for them. But choosing an app is hard, especially if you are an administrator or on the school board or whatever. iPads were first introduced with special ed, but now it is becoming more popular in classrooms with experienced teachers. So how do you pick apps for your iPad? So the first step is evaluate age range, cost, content area, focus skills, and what the students are interested in. Those are all major things. Steps to picking an app, or the first step to picking an app. The second one is evaluate design features. So is there a purchase button? If there is, you need to find a way to take that off or find a different app, because you don't want students constantly racking up the school's credit card bill, because that's not fun. 3, connect the app to the curriculum. So if the school's curriculum is McGraw or Pearson, does it connect to that? Can it connect to that? If not, you probably want to find another app. And indicate what the instructional features are for step 4. So are the instructions easy to read and understand? Probably you want to start from kindergarten, 1st grade. Make sure that they're easy to understand, so the 4th and 5th graders will just fly through it like that and automatically know what to do. These apps are perfect for sharing. Shadow Puppet, like I mentioned earlier, with Drop. It's a digital storytelling app that they can create mini videos and do a little photo book for to show, and they can send it in. Kids A to Z kids can start off by creating an avatar, and then they play games and they learn, and you can see where their progress started from counting numbers 1 to 2, and then you're adding numbers 1 through 10. So you can just see their progress, and it's awesome for the students and for the teachers and parents to see too. Our story, the same, it's kind of like A to Z, but it's more of literature based. Our story the kids grow with fun games, and reading skills are enhanced as well. Seesaw is another app that school systems use with Shadow Puppet and Drop. The instant sharing is amazing. A lot of practicum people that I talk to, their school system uses Seesaw. It is also a good place for students to have the online portfolio, so they're not carrying around 800 papers in a binder of everything they learned that year. It's all online, and there's the QR codes for it too. Here's another awesome video I found of why technology is important in education. So to test your listening skills, this is my activity. I'm not going to click on it, but there is the Gravity Gravity game that you can play with the apps to see which app goes with what description. So play that when you get a chance. And then my final thoughts, technology should not be an entertainment but an education accessory. So it's not a requirement for schools and for classrooms, but it'll definitely enhance learning. While improving test scores, iPads have a way to improve creativity through learning. So yes, it's good for enhancing math skills and science skills, but also you want creative kids. You want them to think of new ideas and new ways to do things. And technology is not limited to regular classroom, but it's open to students with various disabilities. So like we mentioned earlier with the students who might be in inclusion classroom or might be in special ed classroom, but iPads can be used. iPads, laptops, iPods, anything. They can all be used for students with disabilities of all kind. So these are my top 10 apps. I hope you like them. And then check the handout because I have QR codes to every link. A link to every application that I described on here, and then also my resources that I mentioned, the app checklist and the mobile technology. They're also on there also. So thank you very much.